Lies breed more lies. You might have heard those phrases, but at what cost? My name is Caesar, and welcome to Case of a Coffee. And today, we're looking at the case of Jolly Joseph, a case that rocked a small town in India. The case, which spans for 14 years, involves multiple deaths within the family, and all of these perhaps started with a simple enough lie. Without further ado, grab a coffee, relax, and sit back. Here's the story of Jolly Joseph. The story begins in the small city of Koodhatai, with a population barely reaching 12,000 in the state of Kerala, India. The town is a predominantly Muslim town, and yet the story revolves around a small Christian family, a popular local couple who lives in a pastel pink house in the midst of lush jungle in Koodhatai. Tom Thomas is the patriarch of the family, and he has a son, Roy Thomas. In 1997, Roy wedded Jolly Yama, or better known as Jolly Joseph, and Jolly soon enough moved to the pastel pink house together with her in-laws. Throughout the years, Jolly has been perceived as an upstanding citizen of the small town. She told people that she has a job. She was working as a professor at NIT University, about half an hour away from her house. She wore a neat sari every day. She helps the local church and even helped the local neighbors when they were sick. All in all, a friendly and kind daughter-in-law for Tom Thomas's household. No one had a shadow of doubt on Jolly until the very recent turn of events. The tragedies. In 2002, 5 years after the marriage, Roy Thomas's 57-year-old mother, Anna Thomas, suddenly passed away in circumstances that weren't explained. But because she had health issues, her death wasn't considered suspicious, and there was no post-mortem. In India, post-mortems are only required if death is unnatural or suspicious. They can be requested by the deceased person's family, but some Indians are reluctant to do so because of a cultural belief that autopsies means desecrating the body. After Anama's death, the mood has changed in the family, said Bava, a close family friend. There was no happiness in the house like how they were used to be. 6 years have passed, and in 2008, another tragedy struck the Thomas family once more. Bava, the close family friend, remembered hearing a sound of someone being violently ill next door. He said Jolly Joseph called him and calmly told him that Tom Thomas, the father-in-law, wasn't well. When he got there, he said he found that Tom Thomas has been lying flat on his back, foaming at the mouth. He called and took him to the hospital, where doctors declared him dead from a heart attack. According to Bava, Roy Thomas and Joseph inherited the property in Tom Thomas's will. Police investigations found that by the time of Tom Thomas's death, all his assets had been transferred to Joseph. 3 years later, 40-year-old Roy Thomas, Jolly's husband, was dead too. Again, Jolly Joseph called Bava, who said he found the man lying on the bathroom floor, foaming from the mouth. This time, Roy Thomas's uncle, Matthew, insisted that Joseph's husband needed a post-mortem and took him to the hospital. The post-mortem found that Roy Thomas had died after consuming cyanide, a chemical commonly used in mining and jewelry making, which can be fatal in high doses. Police ruled it as a suicide and didn't investigate further. As confirmed by the superintendent, no investigation on the origin of the cyanide was conducted back then. But again, Jolly Joseph insisted and told others, including Bava, that it was a heart attack. After the passing of her husband, Jolie grew distant from the community. She wasn't friendly or close to the local people anymore, but people didn't mind her, as people knew about her loss and perhaps sympathized with her. She just became a widow in the small town. However, the tragedy continued. More deaths followed Jolie. In 2014, Roy Thomas's uncle, Matthew, died in the presence of Jolie, and once again, she claimed another heart attack had struck the family. And within the same year, yet another has fallen victim to this so-called familial curse. This time, Alphine, a 2-year-old daughter of Roy Thomas's cousin, Saju, died after allegedly choking on food at the christening ceremony. Then, a couple years later, in 2016, Saju's wife, 43-year-old wife, Silly, died too. In 2017, Jolie Joseph remarried. Her new husband was Silly's widower, Saju. All seems calm thereafter, but people close to Jolie began to suspect something was wrong after her new marriage with Saju. The suspicion started from Roy's sibling, Roho Thomas. He started to poke around Jolie's claim to the entirety of Tom's asset in his latest will. The will that was just changed moments before the untimely passing of Tom. Allegedly, Jolie has forged this will for her own benefit, as there's no mention of assets being passed to Tom's other children, Roho and Renji. During these investigations, Roho found out that Jolie didn't actually work as an IT as she had claimed. But the whole family attacked Roho. They really believe in the wholesome image of Jolie within the family. But Roho didn't stay quiet and began to find discrepancies between Jolie's story and post-mortem report on Roy Thomas. Dissatisfied, Roho teamed up with Renji, her sister, and Bava, the close family friend, to look further at all the deaths that happened within the past 14 years. And finally, they realized the commonality of all these cases. It was the presence of Jolie in every one of them. Roho immediately contacted the crime unit of Koodhatai police and requested further investigations, and this time the police agreed that there was a potential criminal case. By August 2019, police began the investigations and soon enough found loopholes in Jolie's stories too. The police found out that she didn't work as a professor at NIT as she had claimed. A fake ID card was found soon after, and the police eventually figured that she had faked her role as a professor to get people's respect. Sometimes she would come to the campus and just hang out in the canteen. The police even went further by exhuming the other bodies apart from Roy Thomas to find new evidence. 2 months have passed, and after analyzing the plethora of new evidence, the police made an announcement in October. Jolie finally had confessed to murdering all 6 family members. She had poisoned them with cyanide to gain control over the family's assets and then marry the man she had her eyes on. Police said Joseph poisoned her in-laws to get hold of the house, and as a marriage to Roy Thomas version, Joseph killed him too. She then allegedly killed her husband's uncle Matthew, Silly, and her daughter Alphine by poisoning their water and food, respectively, to get closer to Saju. Jolie told many people she wished for a husband like Saju. Finally, after 14 years, the mystery of the pink house was unraveled. Jolie Joseph was arrested for the alleged murder of Matthew, Alphine, and her father-in-law Tom Thomas. Along with her, the police also apprehended her accomplices Another Matthew, her relative who works in a jewelry shop through which the cyanide was procured, and Prachi Kumar, a goldsmith that provided the supply of cyanide. Both Matthew and Prachi insist that the cyanide was given to Jolly under the pretense that it was used for pest control. After being arrested, Jolly was housed at the district jail of Kozhikode. Not long after, on February 27, 2020, she attempted suicide in jail by biting her wrist. She was caught and transferred temporarily to a hospital. The case itself is still ongoing, and as 2021, from the 6 murders that occurred, only 3 has been charged. Thank you for watching this video by Case Over Coffee today. What do you think about the case of Jolly Joseph? Please share your thoughts down below. Thank you again for watching Case Over Coffee, and as always, I'll be right here waiting for you for the next one. Until next time, goodbye.